Hello all. I have come about this old and used ON30 streetcar. It is a Bachmann. I got this from where I work, actually. Um, where I work, we design collectibles, and I think these were some of the things early on years ago we purchased from Bachmann for ideas. The company I work for back then would take a look at existing models in the marketplace, and we've done a lot of stuff with Bachmann over the years where we change decals or we add artwork. Like say Thomas Kincaid or something like that. So we would get ideas, and that's where I obtained this from, like a garage sale. This was free because by the time I went, I was digging around in boxes that nobody wanted anything else at work, and they just decided that towards the tail end of the work day to just start giving a bunch of stuff away for free. Otherwise, it was going to go in the trash. So that's how I obtained this streetcar. I thought that's kind of cool, you know. Well, we're going to take it apart and see what we got. Okay, so I've already started taking a little bit of this apart. If you look right here, we've got two screws. Okay, we've got one here and one here. I've already removed one of these that was on the other side here. Here's a look at it. It has very small screws, as you can see. Very little screws. And it goes right in here. So I already removed those on one end. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take a little Phillips screwdriver here now, and I'm going to loosen these screws up. Okay, like that. Like this. This appears to be the motorized section. It's really, there we go, got it. All right, so now that I've loosened that up, we can pull this out from one end without having to take this one off. But let's put this aside. All right, take a look at this. So I'm going to take a closer look at this. I think we'll get in and clean all of these wheels. The copper tabs for the electrical appear to be right here, and they just hit the top. It's interesting, they don't ride on this part, they actually ride on that part. Okay, so we're taking another look at this chassis with the motor on it, and I think what we're gonna have to do here, okay, I think we're gonna try to put a decoder on here and see how she runs. I got a spare one off to the side. So I've pulled these two wires apart. We've got one that goes to the copper contacts for the wheels and the track on both sides. And then we have connections for the motor right here. So that's what each one of these little connections are doing for the time being. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this whole wire from both sides, from the whole thing, okay? So let's get in here and see if we can't do that. All right, so as you can see, we're just going to snip these guys away. Like so. Let's see, we're going to remove this motor. Let's see if it's just a matter of loosening these 4 screws. This might be hopefully this is just the harness for the motor. Yeah, I see that. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. So, that is really neat. Let's get the motor out of here for a sec. All right, that goes like that. You can see that, right? Sorry, too close. We're going to use this solder for our motor points. Okay. All right, let's drop this guy in. I already put some grease in the gears earlier. Let's put this back. So, had to push it down with my finger just a little bit more. Get it nice and snug. Okay. All right. While doing this, just make sure all of your copper contacts are still making good contact. Okay. What we need to do, we have to remove these little tabs here. These are the ones that connect to the lighting. Take them out. Got it. I don't know how I got it, but somehow I did. All right, so I'm going to screw that back into place. Okay. We're just going to wire, we're going to just wire directly to it. All right. Now the next thing to do, so let's get a little flux. Okay. And let's put a little flux in these little areas where the solder was once before. There is still some there. Okay. And that's where we're going to connect our track power to this one, to this one. All right. So we're ready to get our decoder on here. Cool thing is, I'm gonna test it off to the side right now, kind of like this. Won't be able to do that when we get that shell back on, as you can see. If this is successful, we'll get some holes drilled up in here, and we could probably do it right through here too, and and run our decoder wires through that. But we're gonna just test this for now. Okay, so temporarily I'm going to tape the decoder here. I think this will be better for now, because I don't want anything to interfere with the motor. So we're gonna treat forward this way. I don't think it matters. So, like I say, let's get this wire, okay, connected to this one here. All right. Okay. Now let's do it this way. Without burning my finger, of course, or melting anything else. Okay. All right, the orange is on the right side. Let's find the gray. Just bring him across the top this way. So, okay, that, then the red is going to connect right here on the same side as the orange. Okay, and then the black will go right in here on the side of the gray. Let's get this turned into the right position. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way, you guys. Safety first, right? Okay. So let's come in this. There we go. Yeah, let's lift that gray one up because I feel like that could turn into trouble. All right. So we should have some good connections here. All right. Next, we'll go to the test track and see if we are successful here. All right, so let's run this guy on the test track. There we go. Okay. I got other stuff in the way here, but let me just show you. And there you go. Okay, so let's have a little fun and see what's underneath this guy. Oops. See those coming out. Very carefully. Hold on. It sounds like it's cracking on the other side, and we don't need that to happen. Because this thing's really nice, but I need to get inside of there to clean it and to see what to do with the light bulbs and such. I see what's going on up there now. All right. Okay. So let's just get this one off, and then we're good to go. There we go. Okay, so hello viewers, we are back. I went ahead and installed some of my own mini LEDs in replacement of the lights they currently had. This is what I've done here. I love these warm white lights, and they're the only ones I have. So I've added two here. Okay, we've got two connections. We have tabs. Let's take a look at the tabs. You see these tabs right here. Okay. All right, there it is. So let me just show you that. So there's a tab here, and then we have a tab here. These two tabs, when this roof goes down, touch this area here, and they touch this area here, okay? So here we have our positive tab, okay? Negative, all right? This is our, so this is our positive. This is going to be our common, the red, and then we've got our black, all right? You can look at it that way. And when you get to the underside, here's where the wiring comes in. If you work on one of these, let me show you. So these shorter wires here, I removed a PCB board that they had underneath here for rigging up their lights the way they did it. But what I want to do is individually have cab lights. So this one, let's take a look. This one goes up to the top along this side. See it coming up here? So that I have marked with a little dot. See that marker there? This is going to be my black. Oh, this is going to be my negative wire. I'm going to assign this my negative. Okay, so when it comes up here, I have to make sure that the roof goes on just like this, because this tab is going to utilize the negative side. As you can see, the black wires are soldered on this strip, that metal strip, okay? And the same goes with the red. So this side will be red. They're black. Both of them are black. That's where I was a bit confused. So these two wires are going to be for my interior lights, and then we've got we've got a common and a black, a positive and a black for the front and the back right here. So, which I've already installed the same LEDs like these. I've already installed LEDs in here also. I'm not going to crack those open. I think if you work on these, you'll understand how to hook them up if you've done wiring before. So that's where I am at with the lighting right now. Okay. Next, I'm debating. I have to decide what I want to do, if I want to keep my resistors down here or bring them up through here, which I think I'm going to bring them up in here because we're going to have sound in this too. So I'm going to be drilling some holes to send these wires up so that they meet up with our decoder, which will be right inside down on the bottom in here. I just have to remove these two screws once again and start getting everything down in there, and we'll come back and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so we are back in action. Let's get a little screwdriver out, and looks like we can disconnect these here. This will help us remove this plastic casing on top. Just so we can get in there to manipulate the, to work on our decoder, okay? So, all right, let's pull those out. Might even just put them back to the side. Very cool. That is nice. Okay, so I am going to get these screws out of here. I feel like they'll get lost. Otherwise, like that. So the old PCB board was drilled into these holes from the bottom. They were going into these and keeping that board right in place onto the bottom side. So what I'm going to do is drill the holes a little bit bigger so that I can feed these larger wires up. All right. Okay, so I want to show you the process of drilling holes. So I have drilled a hole here. Okay, this is going to be for our interior lights. And it's coming up in here. Okay, because I'm going to do a lot of electronic hooking up with wires down here. And I'll probably just cover this bed over with a piece of styrene or something. We'll see. We'll see. But I want to do everything in here. I do not want to have all these metal connections getting close to the motor, which lies right inside of here. Okay. So I've already put one in here. All right. Now we just got to get the black part up in there to go nicely too. All right, it's coming. All right, cool. So that kind of looks like that. All right, so we've got those two wires going up. All right, we'll do these next two the same way, and we'll come back. Okay, so all our wiring is complete and pulled up to the interior. All right, here we'll have better capabilities of connecting everything to our decoder inside there. And we can put a speaker and everything. Okay, so I did some work here. I've got our, I'm going to use some double stick tape to get our decoder down on the floor. But what I've done so far is add resistors to all my black wiring. But this is all for the lights here. But I've also brought through the wires that we're gonna use for track power and motor power. Let me just show you briefly what I'm doing here. So these holes here on the ends, they line up with these, okay? And this is gonna go face down like this, right? So I marked with a dot the front forward. I'm gonna assign this way forward, so this is gonna be forward. So when you line this up, I drilled holes for my track power on the outer parts. As you can see, we've got the red and the black, and then we've got our orange and our gray here, because the orange and the gray, once again, if we line this up like this, the orange and the gray are going to be soldered right to these 2 points here. Okay. And the track wiring, the black and the red, is going to be just to the outside underneath here. So I kind of lined up the holes I drilled to go directly to where they need to go when this gets popped on like that. All right. And those, as you can see, are coming up through here. Okay. Because I'm going to put it this way, facing up. So we'll put this double stick tape on this side. Okay. Pull these wires back through, because we're going to trim these down once we know exactly where this guy's going to go. So let's see. Okay, so I've been doing a little bit of work here. As you can see, I've got all our lights hooked up. Looks a little crazy, looks like spaghetti, but so let's look at it this way. You've got your, okay, front lights, rear lights. Then we got our, this should be blue, okay, for the interior. This is black for the interior light. So, all right, so what we have left is we have another, we've got a few more wires up here, of course. Got our 2 speaker wires, which we will eventually put sound in this. But for now, what we're going to do, now that all that is hooked up, we're going to go underneath. And we are going to start hooking up these wires to where they go again. And once I do that, I'll come back. Okay, I got them on the test track. It's running good. The front and rear lights are working just fine. But I have to figure out, and many of you out there probably already know this, but I'm still trying to figure this out. So the way I have these LEDs here, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to swap them, because when I do these kinds of things, I run them with 2 wires, so I'm not quite sure why it's not working. Okay, so we are all done with this guy. I decided not to go with LEDs on the interior, but watch this. This thing has great sound. And if you reverse the direction like I do on my NCE power cab, this is what it does. Now, as you can see, as I've said, this is ON30. It's much larger than my 45 and 44 tonner back there. But that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this install of our Bachmann trolley ON30 United Traction Company number 1623. I hope what I've showed you here helps. Maybe you want to add sound and a decoder to your trolley. Maybe one of these days I'll figure out how to add some bumpers to the end of this and make it go back and forth. But who knows? All right, until next time, this is Wally of Wally's Model Railroading signing off.